Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another MLB The Show 22 video on the channel, and today we are going to be doing a tier list for the best second baseman in the game. We've already done catcher and first base. Make sure to check out both of those videos if you have not already. Today we're doing second base. In this video, I am going to be including some non-second basemen who play second base as a secondary, just because second baseman is a pretty thin position. I did a similar thing in the catcher's video, so just expect some guys in here that aren't really second basemen, obviously. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. But before we get into the rest of the video, guys, make sure you guys drop a like down below and subscribe when notifications on if you guys have been enjoying the vids and you do not want to miss any coming out in the future. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this tier list. Not waste any time. Starting off, we got Brendan Rodgers coming in from the Rockies. Tops now card. And looking at his stats, he's not bad at all. Very solid against righties, okay against, or very solid against lefties, okay against righties. Below average fielding and not great speed, so not an amazing defender there at second base, but he's going to hit well. He's got really solid balanced stats, and he's a card you can get entirely free. I like this Brendan Rodgers. Definitely looks pretty solid. For now, I think I'm going to put him in C tier, right down the middle, I think. But I definitely think he could move. We'll have to see what happens, but I definitely think he's pretty solid. He's nothing special, of course, but he's definitely pretty solid. Next up, we got one of my favorite young players in the league. We got Gavin Lux coming from the Dodgers. Crazy how good that system is over there, but Gavin Lux, weird stats. He's got solid fielding and solid speed, doesn't really have a good arm at second base, which isn't great. Terrible power against left, okay contact against left, good contact against right, but okay power against right. I mean, he's a lefty bat. This card is definitely worse than Brendan Rodgers. He's a better fielder, he's got better speed, but speed isn't super important as second baseman. The fielding is more the thing that I care about. But those hitting stats just really hurt because he doesn't really hit one side amazing. He hits righties pretty well, but he can hit lefties. And righties isn't anything special. I'd rather have Brendan Rodgers against righties than Gavin Lux against righties. I don't know. It's tough. Gavin Lux for me probably falls, for now, I guess D tier, but I definitely could see him going down more as well. Just that those hitting stats really don't hold up. That's his big problem for me. And next up, we got a card that I don't think I've seen a single person use this card all year. We got Craig Biggio. This card is worse than the Gavin Lux we just saw. Like, he doesn't hit righties as well, and he's got similar stats against lefties, except the contact's a little better. He's a solid defender with good speed. He's going to run base as well, and he's got a solid arm. He's a little bit better defender than Gavin Lux, but he's worse hitter. I mean, I think Craig Biggio is just a worse Gavin Lux. I think that's what I see out of that Craig Biggio card. I'm not going to spend too much time on that card just because he's kind of bad. And like I said, I could see these cards moving a lot more, moving down. Next up, we got Ryne Sandberg from the Cubs. Really liked his All-Star card last year, but this card, he's pretty good against righties, got good contact against lefties, so he'll be able to hit on high difficulty against lefties, just not for much power. Good fielding. Not a great arm, okay speed. He's a righty bat, which you like. I think this card is like a little bit better Brendan Rodgers to me. I think because of that contact against lefties, he'll be able to hit lefties, just not for any power, and he's a much better defender than Brendan Rodgers. I don't think it's by much. I think they're very even, and I think if I were to pick one that I'd want to like grind for in game, of course I would take Brendan Rodgers just because he's cheaper and he's free. But Ryne Sandberg is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I think he's about average for me. He's just above Brendan Rodgers, but he's not great either. Next up, we got another Takashi card, or our first Takashi card, Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan to me looks like a better Biggio and a better Lux. He's got good contact against both sides. Okay power against righties. He's got incredible base running, really good speed, really good fielding, not an amazing arm, but Joe Morgan to me feels like, I don't know. I think what he is he's a worse Brendan Rodgers. I think he's better than Lux, and I think he's better than Biggio, and I think he's up a tier from them, but I don't think he's better than Rodgers or Sandberg. That's where I'd put him bottom C. Next up, we got the gold Chase Utley. Now, to be honest, I don't know much about this card. Let's see what he looks like. He's honestly not even that bad, which is, it's weird, his stats. He's a lefty bat, but he's best against lefties, which for me, I hate that. I cannot hit lefty-lefty to save my life. I hit a lefty-lefty home run with Khalil Watson the other day, and I was in shock, man. And it was online too, so I was in shock for sure. He's got solid fielding and okay arm, not great speed, can't hit righties as a lefty, just makes this card really hard for me to put higher than F tier, man. Just like, as a guy who physically can hit lefty-lefty, I don't see a way that I would ever use this card. Like, ever at all. I don't know. ShareAlike, he looks pretty bad to me. Next up, we got Rougned Odor coming from the Orioles. He's pretty good against righties, a nice little lefty bat, not a bad defender at all, solid fielding, okay arm, not great speed. He can hit, he's got some power against lefties, he's got not great contact against lefties, but he's got some pop against righties for sure. Rougned Odor's not bad, I'd probably put him, do I think he's bottom C or top of D? Because he's definitely better than Lux and Biggio. I don't think he's as good as Morgan. I think I'm gonna go top of D with Odor. Just below average, I think, is where he fits in pretty well. So I like that. Next up, we got DJ LeMahieu from the Yankees. And one thing I might do, this tier list is shaping out to be a lot lower than I expected, so I might just move everyone up a tier. But DJ LeMahieu, very good against lefties. Love that contact. This card is very similar to that Ryan Sandberg, except it's kind of the opposite with his power. But he crushes lefties. He's not great against righties. Very solid defender. He's got good arm accuracy, not great speed. Righty bat. I like this DJ LeMahieu card more than most cards we've seen so far. I think he... I don't know. Let me look at the Ryan Sandberg real quick and compare him. I think I like Ryan Sandberg a little more, but I think I like this DJ LeMahieu more than I like the Brendan Rodgers. So I think that's where he falls, right between those two in C tier. Definitely not bad at all, though. Definitely a usable option. Once again, another free card, and even if you don't get him free, he's at quick sell, so nowhere near a bad option. Next up, we got Nick Gonzalez, the gold prospect from the Pirates. Righty bat, solid against lefties, not great against righties. Okay fielding, okay speed. I mean, he's better than Utley. Would I say he's better than Biggio, though? No, I think this is an E tier card. He's got solid hitting stats for a gold, but nothing special, obviously. And then next up, we got possibly the best second baseman in the game, Javi Baez. Crushes lefties, very good against righties, incredible fielding, 99 arm with really good speed, a righty bat, which is very valuable right now. To me, Javi Baez is our first S tier guy, and it's crazy the gap we are seeing right now between S and B tier. I think there is just a huge gap in the talent at second base. I think like guys like Javi Baez and guys like Chase Utley are just so much better than everyone else. It is absolutely crazy. We'll see, but Javi Baez, incredible stats. He's got to be S tier, right? Next up, we got future stars Vidal Brujan, one of my favorite young players in the league. Vidal Brujan, not honestly that great. Very good defender, very good speed, got some good secondaries, but obviously that doesn't matter for us. Good contact. He's gonna hit righties pretty well. That power is just enough to where you'll see him hit homers. Lefties, that contact plus power isn't gonna make him great, but he's definitely gonna be solid. I definitely think he's better than Sandberg. I think he's B for me, but I think he's bottom B. I don't think he's amazing by any metric at all. I think he's solid, though. Next up, we got probably the best active second baseman, Jose Altuve, and this card is very, very solid, man. He's got very balanced hitting stats. He's very solid against lefties, crushes righties as a righty. He doesn't crush, but he's good against righties. Solid fielding, not a great arm at second. You don't need an amazing arm, but you need an arm to return double plays, and also because of the shift and stuff, you're gonna have to make plays. Speed is okay. This to me is like a better Brendan Rodgers, and I think he's enough better to where I can put him B tier, but I think I'd rather Vidal Brujan because of his defense and his speed. But man, not the best options here when it comes to second baseman, honestly. Next up, we got Ezekiel Duran from the Texas Rangers. Okay against lefties, bad against righties. This is literally the Pirates. What's his name? The Pirates prospect we just saw, Nick Gonzalez. This is him. Again, I think I'd rather have Nick Gonzalez, though, just because he's a little bit better hitting stats, but they're so even that it really doesn't matter. Next up, we got Bill Mazeroski coming out of another free pack from one of the many programs we've seen. And this card is really bad. He's got good contact against left, but he's not going to hit for any power against left. He's bad against righties. He's got good fielding. He's got good arm accuracy, but a poor arm. Bad speed. Bill Mazeroski, like, at least, like, Duran and Gonzalez can hit one side somewhat. Mazeroski's F tier, man. Like, I'd rather use this Gonzalez than this Mazeroski, honestly. It's crazy. And next up, we got another card that came out within the last month, or last couple weeks. We got Brock Holt. One thing I'm really seeing with these second basemen is they do not hit for any power, it seems like. He's got very solid hitting stats against righties. He'll definitely be able to hit some homers, but against lefties, he's just got absolutely no power. He's going to struggle there. A lefty bat, obviously. 81 fielding is pretty solid. Bad arm, okay speed. Brock Holt, to me, just like, I think he's top of D. Like, I don't think he's that good. Like I said, I might just move everyone up a tier based on what's going on right now, but I don't see him being better than this Joe Morgan or Brendan Rodgers or guys like that. Just because he cannot hit lefties, and he doesn't have that much pop against righties as well, so it's really hard to hit homers with him. And then next up, we got Kyron Paris. He's got solid contact, but literally no power, bad fielding, solid speed. But I think that's the worst gold prospect we've seen so far. I think I'd rather have Bill Mazeroski. Yeah, I'd rather have Bill Mazeroski than this card, Kyron Paris. So it is what it is there. I still think he's better than Utley, though, just because Utley is such a weird card. He only hits lefties well, and he's a lefty. Very strange. Next up, we got monthly awards, Owen Miller. He's got good contact against righties, bad power. He's got solid contact against lefties, solid power, solid fielding, good speed. To me, this Owen Miller just kind of feels like kind of a worse D tier cards. Like, I'm trying to remember exactly what these cards look like. Let's have a look back at some of these cards real quick, just so I can know. I don't think he's as good as Holt. I think he's not as good as O'Dur. Is he as good as Lux? Yeah, he's better than Lux. All right, so that's where I'm gonna put Owen Miller, because I'm gonna have him just ahead of Gavin Lux in D tier. But man, these second basemen are pretty dang bad. Next up, we got Brian Roberts coming out of that first big dog set pack, and my God, this card. This almost looks like a clone of Bill Mazeroski, except his power's better on one side. This card, oh my God, it's poor. This card is so poor. Brian Roberts is like even with Bill Mazeroski to me. They're both awful. Like, they're both terrible cards. It's crazy. I was not expecting second baseman to be this bad, honestly. Next up, we got Utley, but the 88 overall version. Once again, very weird card. Solid against righties, not good against lefties. Okay defender. To me, this looks like a worse Biggio. Like, looking at Biggio, yeah, this is a worse Biggio. I don't think I can lower him down enough to where he's into E tier, but he's just a worse Biggio. That's all this Utley is. So, bottom D tier for me. And next up, we have another Future Stars card, Justin Foscue. And finally, we have a good card here. Very solid card. Great power against both sides. Really solid contact against both sides. The contact righty isn't amazing, but solid fielding, solid arm, not great speed. I think those hitting stats really carry him, and I think it's short pickings when it comes to second baseman in this game, so I definitely think he's A tier, but I don't think he's S tier, because I think there's only 2 spots in S tier for 2 very special guys And next up, we got ourselves another prospect card, Tyler Freeman. Great contact against both sides, poor power, not great fielding, good speed. I mean, this card is just poor, but he's better than Roberts or Mazeroski. I'm going to move him to the bottom with E. Because Roberts and Mazeroski have contact against one side. At least Freeman's got it against both sides. But Roberts and Mazeroski are piss poor, man. They are awful. Next up, we got Otto Lopez coming from the Blue Jays. Oh my, this is literally a clone of Tyler Freeman, except he's a little worse defender. Well, there you go. Bottom E right there for Tyler Freeman, or Otto Lopez. Not a good card at all. I'm genuinely surprised with how many, like, bad cards we're seeing right now. I was expecting a lot better, honestly. Next up, we got Mookie Betts. This guy kind of just looks like a better Roberto Clemente with his stats. He's got very good stats against lefties, crushes lefties with contact and very solid power. Okay power against righties, but he's got great contact. A solid defender. Those stats won't go down too much at second base. I like this Mookie Betts. He's got good speed as well. I think he's A tier just because that power and that contact combination is going to be good. I view him as like a better Vidal Brujan. I don't think he's as good as Foscue, but he's definitely solid. Nowhere near a bad card. And now we have the live series Mookie. You will see both these Mookies as well in the what's it called, right fielders video. So there's that. But this Mookie is one of the best second base we've seen as well. He's got solid hitting stats against all sides, and he's got good fielding stats. He doesn't have amazing speed. He's a righty bat, but he's gonna hit well against both sides. To me, this is a little worse Brendan Rodgers. I think he falls in that C tier. I think I'm gonna move some stuff up a little bit. I think a lot of these guys are gonna get moved up to a lot of C guys to B and a lot of D guys to C. We'll see what happens. I think there is a clear divide, but we'll do it at the end of the video just so we can fix it all at once. And if I don't want to move anything by the end of the video, we'll see. But next up, we got arguably the best second baseman in the game. It's either him or Javi. We got Chase Utley, a very, very, very solid card. Crushes righties, very solid against lefties. Incredible fielding, the highest fielding in the game, a good arm, solid speed. Utley to me is 1A, 1B with Javi Baez and S tier. I cannot say which one is better. They are dead even for me because Utley's got that better fielding, but Javi's got the better arm. Javi's got the slightly better hitting stats. So it's very close, man. I don't know who I'd rather have in that scenario. It's very close. And then next up, we got another card which I don't know much about, honestly. We got Ray Durham coming from the White Sox. What is this? This is literally similar stats to the prospect cards we were seeing earlier. This card is not very good, man. Not very good at all. I think he's top of E, honestly. Ray Durham is poor. I don't think he's very good at all. Like, let me look back at Utley just to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Okay, he's probably better than Utley. Yeah, I guess I underrated Durham. Like, let me look at Biggio again real quick as well. Yeah, he's about even with Biggio. That's fine. Okay, I underrated Durham a little bit, but he's still not good. He's still not good at all in D tier. And next up, we got to face the franchise card in Jazz Chisholm. Now, on paper, his hitting stats aren't very good, but I can vouch. I have him parallel 3. He is very, very good. He doesn't have any standout things about his fielding, but he's got incredible speed. You really notice that good fielding. His arm is solid. I would personally put this Jazz Chisholm even with his Brendan Rodgers because his defense really makes up for it. I think he's just a tiny bit better, but I think they're about even, Jazz Chisholm and Brendan Rodgers. So definitely very solid. I think, like I said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Sandberg, LeMahieu, Chisholm, and Rodgers up, and I'm going to move Holt, Odor up to C as well. I think this looks better. I think this more represents how I'm feeling about these cards. Yeah, I like this. I like this tier list a little bit better now. Next up, we got live series Tommy Edman. I don't have high hopes. It's a worse Bill Mazeroski, man. That is quite sad. Tommy Edman finds himself an F. Don't ever use this Tommy Edman's live series card. It's not very good. And next up, we got Tommy Edman again, but in Face the Franchise, and he's better. He can hit lefties. Can't really hit righties. Incredible defender. Incredible defender. He's gonna hit lefties. So, I mean, that makes him a lot better than most cards in D tier, which is crazy to say. So, I think Edman finds himself, I think, honestly, bottom C. Because if I'm going to look at, like, Owen Miller real quick, because I always, like, forget these guys' stats halfway through. But Owen Miller is not as good as Tommy Edman on either side. And, like, looking at Gavin Lux, I can say the same for him. I know Rougned Odor was good against righties. He's a little bit better than Tommy Edman. I think Rougned Odor, but I think Edman is honestly is better than I was expecting. I think he's pretty solid. C tier, not too bad at all. Next up, we got the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth, his Face the Franchise card. He can hit righties, can't really hit lefties. This is a worse Edman, I'm thinking. I think this card, to me, probably falls somewhere in D tier. I'm thinking like top of D, right in front of Owen Miller. Yeah, I like that. I think right below Owen Miller, because I like Owen Miller because he's got solid contact on one side and solid power on one side. So I think he falls just a little bit ahead of him. Next up, we got Keston Hiura. Solid against lefties, okay against righties. He's got good contact and power, he's got good contact on both sides, but okay power. Not a great defender. To me, this is a worse Joe Morgan, and I think that's where he fits in. I'm going to put him right below Joe Morgan. I think in the middle of C tier, that's where he goes. Next up, we got two more live series cards in Jazz Chisholm first, who very solid against righties, can't hit lefties, solid fielding, solid speed, doesn't really have an arm. I still think Chisholm finds himself like somewhere in this mid D range. Like, looking at that Craig, like I keep looking at that Craig Biggio as a comparison. I'll pull him up real quick, but looking at that Craig Biggio, man, he just like, he can't really hit either side. Personally, I'd rather have a card hit one side than hit neither side, honestly. Like, because Craig Biggio is not going to hit for any power at all. And looking at Ray Durham, like, I think I'd rather have live series Jazz Chisholm than Craig Biggio, honestly. Gavin Lux, I can't say the same because of his power against righties, and contact against righties is pretty solid, so he'll be able to hit righties pretty well. But Chisholm is mid D tier for me. And then finally, we got Jose Altuve. He's got balanced hitting stats, but this card is like a little worse than the gold prospects we've seen so far. I think some of them, I think he's right in the middle there. I think he's worse than Duran and Gonzalez, but I think he's better than Freeman and Lopez. So, man, this was an interesting tier list to say the least. I like the moves we made halfway through, moving some guys up to B. But man, this was underwhelming for sure. I expected a lot better talent at this position, but it really wasn't all that good. Guys like Brian Roberts and Bill Mazeroski are awful, and you should never use them. And guys like Owen Miller and guys like Lux honestly disappointed me. I thought they'd be a little higher. I thought they'd be a little better, but they really weren't. Obviously, you got your top of the line guys like Javi Baez and Utley and Foscue and Betts and Brujan. So very solid. But honestly, I feel like if you're not using Javi, Utley, Foscue, Mookie, or Brujan, maybe Jazz and Altuve, I think you're doing some wrong personally, because I think those are like Altuve is entirely free. You can get him free. Same with Chisholm. You could have gotten Brujan or Foscue free. You can technically get Utley free, but it's a grind, obviously. Mookie and Javi, I can't say the same about, but like get Jazz Chisholm or Jose Altuve if you're looking for a free second baseman. Brendan Rodgers is not bad either, and same with DJ LeMahieu. But those are your guys. But yeah, guys, that was the second baseman tier list. like I said, a little underwhelming, but yeah, guys, that is gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe with noties on. But yeah, I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.